How buying organic fertilizer can lead armed DEA agents bursting through your door. More drugs for you, folks. Angela Kirking, 46-year-old face paint artist, woke up at 5 a.m. to find 4 U.S. DEA agents busting into her house, guns pointed, ransacking her home in October. And here's the reason for her intrusion. She bought some organic fertilizer for her hibiscus plant. So she purchased, what? A 16-ounce bottle of fertilizer from a company called Midwest Hydroganics in Illinois. And apparently the DEA has been staking out this place and keeping tabs on folks who are buying organic fertilizers, thinking that they were going to go home and use them to create massive weed plants, which they will then sell to children at elementary schools and continue to erode the fabric of American society as we know it. As an aside, we know that Colorado just legalized drugs, and guess what? Their violent crime rate has not increased at all. Surprise, surprise, folks. So apparently this is what happened. They got her name on this government watch list because she purchased this stuff. They then staked out her home and rooted through her trash every night until they managed to find her electricity bills, which stated that she was getting spending more kilowatt hours each month than her neighbors, which apparently in the state of Illinois is enough for a search warrant, which allowed them to completely destroy her home, ransack it, and catch her. I'm assuming they're looking for some kind of weed forest. And you know what they found? Barely anything. Barely anything. 9 grams of marijuana and some pipes. Is this a reasonable use of law enforcement resources? I don't think so. I don't think that the search warrant is valid at all. So her attorney is fighting to get the search warrant thrown out. And frankly, 9 grams of marijuana and some glass pipes is not something that should be costing. So the government is paying for these DEA agents to, one, stake out this store, this fertilizer store, and then to stake out her house to dig through her trash every night. And for what? 9 grams of marijuana and some pipes, which are ultimately going to end up being a fine if the case isn't thrown out because of a bogus search warrant? That seems like a huge waste of money. And if we're looking at things that we could probably cut on our budget, I'd be looking in that department to see why these guys are wasting their time doing that, because it's not helping. Maybe you should look at some violent crime and not some people with 9 grams of marijuana. But that's just my take on it, folks. Listen, if you want to support The Richard Fowler Show, 2 things you can do. First of all, it's totally free. Click the subscribe button, youtube.com/Fowler Show. Best way to support independent media. And if you're feeling like you love The Richard Fowler Show and you want to do something about it, consider going to patreon.com/Fowler Show and making a donation in support of independent media. Maybe you watch us once a month. Why don't you throw us $1 a month? It's, cheaper than a price of coffee.